Hi, welcome to PPO Studios Income Calculator. So the reason we have an income calculator on our website for you is to help you figure out your hourly rate. And we all know that our hourly rate was what's going to help us support our financial goal. So regardless of how we bill, whether we bill hourly, in sessions, you estimate things, you quote things, it doesn't matter. If you don't know what your hourly rate is to support your financial goal, you're not going to be profitable. So I'm going to do two scenarios, one where you're working part-time and one where you're working full-time. So the calculator allows you to input whatever numbers you want into the calculator. So I'm going to say $30,000 is what I'd like to make as a part-time side hustle, part-time gig, part-time because I've got family at home and I don't want to work full-time. Percentage for taxes, I'm going to go with 35%. I recommend that you look at your state or country's tax laws to determine what you should be allocating and figuring for taxes and expenses. Taxes, especially since in most businesses it is wise to pay your quarterly taxes. So I'm not an accountant, but you can figure all that out on your own. My hourly rate, I'm going to wait to plop that in. Number of days I want to, number of weeks I'd like to work. I'm only part-time. I'm going to go with 30 weeks a year and maybe 3 days a week. And then I'm going to say I'm going to bill out at $50 an hour. I feel comfortable with that. And let's just see what happens. And when I'm inputting these numbers, these output numbers over here are automatically calculating. So what the outcome was I'm going to have to bill 10 hours a day in order to reach my desired take-home pay of 30 grand. And as you can see, when I put in the expense, the percent for taxes and expenses, I actually have to make 46,000, a little over that, to net 30K. So that's the gross of 46 to net 30K. So this isn't going to cut it. So I can change all these numbers to get this to be more reasonable. Now, I said I wanted to work part-time, so I'm going to keep the 3 days a week, but maybe I'm going to up this to 35. So that helps a little bit, but this still, for billable hours, that's billing almost 9 hours a day. I don't even want to work that much, and that's not very reasonable because when we're working in our businesses, we know that we have life outside of business, a nice work-life balance, along with administrative tasks that you do on a daily basis, along with managing your own household, and that's not billable. So what I'm going to have to do is give myself a raise. Let's just see what happens here. If I put in 60, it's still not enough as far as I'm concerned, so I'm going to see what happens if I make 75. I'm getting closer. It's more reasonable. So you're going to have to continue to make some modifications. The bottom line is I want you to play with the calculator to determine what you're going to charge and how often you're going to work and how does it meet your financial goal. So I'm going to go ahead and reset the calculator, and I'm going to input numbers for a full-time. And for full-time, I'd like to make 65,000 a year. Oops. Okay, and whoops, an extra zero there. And my tax rate, I'm going to keep it at 35%. So right off, we see I need to make 100,000 gross. So my hourly rate, I'm going to plop that in the beginning right now. I'm going to start at $100 an hour. I'm going to work 48 hours a year because I want some vacation. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to commit to 5 days a week. Okay, so in this scenario, I'm billing out a little over 4 hours a day. I'm working 48 weeks a year, $100 an hour to make a gross of 100K and a net of 65,000. That absolutely works. Now, if you were doing this and you're like, I really don't want to work that many weeks or this many days, you can change this to 4 and see what happens, right? You're like, that's not too bad. Or you can give yourself a little raise. Even better. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is play with the calculator, figure out how much you need to make to support your financial goal, and that will help you be profitable in your new photo raising business. So please feel free to email us with if you gave yourself a raise or how this calculator helped you in figuring out your hourly rate. Thank you.